Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. Here's what we have in the bulletin. Voting in Northeast St. Ann by-election off to a slow start. St. Ann's Bay Market to get $15 million upgrade. And later in sports, Issa the Costa Cup resumes today after referee strike on Saturday. Thanks for joining us. I'm Kerry-Ann Simpson. Here are the details. We begin with the latest from the by-election in Northeast St. Ann, where voting is well underway. The polls, which opened at 7 a.m., will close at 5 p.m. Our reporter, Dwayne Anderson, has been in the constituency and now reports.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon to our viewers on television Jamaica. So I'm at the Ocherius High School in St. Ann. It is one of 27 polling stations being used here in northeastern St. Ann for this by-election. Now, things are very slow right now. As you can see behind me, very little movement. Through this gate is where voters come in and go to vote. Right now, no one is coming through. And that's because there's been very little movement in terms of voting this morning. I've been here for the last 45 minutes and I've counted about 40 voters. Most of them women, most of them elderly persons. The good thing, though, is that they've come in and they've been able to vote pretty quickly. I spoke with several of them. They explained the process was quick and it was easy. Now, persons who are traversing this particular area, Ocherius, they would want to proceed with caution. This particular area just in front of the Ocherius High School, and there will be a lot of cars turning in, a lot of persons walking out. So motorists want to be careful and look out for those commuters. Now, of course, as I mentioned, there are 27 polling stations being used here in northeastern St. Ann. We'll be going to others after we leave here. We'll go down into Lime Hall and Exchange to find out what is happening. But just to remind Jamaicans that there are 3 persons contesting this by-election. David Anderson, an independent with ties to the PNP, Matty Samuda, and Chase Neal of the UIC. I've not been able to see any of them since day, but I've seen some persons from the JLP, leaders of the JLP, and they were here at the Ocherius High School trying to ensure that things are going smoothly. Now, I'll be here all day monitoring activities, and as soon as anything comes to me that is newsworthy, I'll share it with you guys. It's back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Dwayne. And several early voters spoke with our news team. They casted their ballots at the Ocherius High School.
The people them come in and start vote alright, and everything level. Yes.
Why did you come out so early?
Because me there work and then come for me. And I just come out and vote and going back to my job.
Everything is running smoothly. You know, no violence, nobody arguing, nothing like that. Everybody is just going through the right and proper way.
And it was quick?
Yes, no itch.
Well, because of my age, I have to be early.
So what is it, or what you're going to do for the rest of the day now?
Relax and wait for the result.
Now, our reporter Dwayne Anderson subsequently caught up with David Anderson, the independent candidate in this by-election. He said he expects voting to pick up in the afternoon among his supporters.
Tell us what is happening on your side so far this morning.
All right, well, I have observed a low voter turnout. Nevertheless, most of my voters are really working class people, so they are coming in the afternoon. All is well, and still in high spirits and waiting to go.
What was the message that you've been, sharing with the voters here in northeastern St. Ann in the last few weeks to try to get them to vote for you?
All right, well, not message, but messages, right? It's just to be cognizant of the fact that it's the same cycle that we've been faced with over the years that has been repeated. So we have to make a change.
In the meantime, our reporter Sandy Williams is over in Priory St. Ann and filed this report.
In contrast to the usual bustle of an election day, the polling station here at the Priory Primary School stands unusually quiet. Now, the hum of democracy has been replaced by a calmness, with only a few constituents wandering in to cast their ballots. However, Member of Parliament for East Central St. James, Edmund Bartlett, who is here to show support for his colleague Matty Samuda, is optimistic that there will be improvements as the day progresses.
I know that there are strategies geared at enabling a strengthening of the turnout in the next few hours.
Now, there are three candidates vying for St. Ann Northeast. Independent candidate David Anderson, the JLP's Matthew Samuda, and Chase Neal of the United Independence Congress UIC. Now, as you can see, they are mostly supporters clad in green. However, I understand that one voter has turned up to show support for one of the independent parties. Now, Mr. Samuda believes the opposition People's National Party's decision to not contest the seat was a major influencing factor for the voter turnout.
No, despite the decision not to formally contest, the mischief of nominating an independent candidate is why you actually have an election today, and it's all part of the democratic process. By-elections, statistically from as far back as the 1940s, do attract a lower turnout. They're usually between 20 and 30%. Now, if you go to the by-elections where you have a boycott of sorts from whoever the opposition is of the day, usually drop to between 10 and 15%.
Reporting from the polling station here at the Prairie Primary School in St. Ann, I'm Sandy Williams for TVJ News.
Thank you, Sandy. Now, Dr. Horace Chang, General Secretary of the Jamaica Labour Party JLP and Deputy Leader for Area Council 4, is optimistic about winning the St. Ann Northeast constituency by-election today. Dr. Chang is confident that the JLP will regain the seat once the count is complete. He was speaking at a JLP meeting in Trelawney Sunday night.
We'll have the first in the beginning of a series with the general election that will whip them people and put them back out the pasture and go for the culture. I tell you what, go for long pond, put some of the guinea grass and stack them and send them and give them at the PNP office. Send them here. You don't want the horse to get too weak. Because we're going to beat him at the race course properly when it comes at the right time.
In other news, funding totaling $15 million will be immediately released by the Ministry of Local Government to upgrade parts of the St. Ann's Bay Market. It comes after Minister Desmond McKenzie expressed disappointment at the state of the facility. The details in this report from Dwayne Anderson.
Markets in St. Ann have been getting extra attention in the last few weeks, and vendors, including those at the St. Ann's Bay Market, are making the opportunity count. They put their concerns to the Minister of Local Government, Desmond McKenzie, who toured the facility on Friday.
I am selling in St. Ann's Bay the past 13, 14 years now, and I don't see nothing has done to the market. So I don't like they to fix the market and do empty promises, because empty promises do not work. Because it's not proper to see people selling in the market what want to fix. When rain fall, the market leak, people think damage and stuff like that.
Nobody coming inside the market to buy, so we have to out here because we know them are going to talk about it. And we don't have a bathroom down this side. If we to get to the bathroom, we have to go to Kentucky or the party place up there.
Mr. McKenzie said his return to the market was a fulfillment of his promise to vendors to tour the market to see firsthand the challenges they told him about.
I must tell you, I am a bit disappointed about the state of the market, and I do share their concerns about the challenges it poses to their livelihood.
He said more funding will be provided to improve the facilities. These funds are in addition to sums disbursed recently to fix bathrooms at the facility.
So the ministry is going to be providing $15 million, which we will release immediately to the St. Ann Municipal Corporation, specifically to deal with the issues surrounding the St. Ann's Bay market. There needs to be urgent repairs to the sidewalk. There needs to be some cleaning up of the facility, putting on a coat of paint to lift the facility. The work here is extensive. They will not be able to do the work all at once, but this is an incremental amount that will be given until we look at how best to deal with the lasting issue.
While the tour of the market was taking place, we observed crews from the National Solid Waste Management Authority NSWMA collecting garbage outside the facility, which is located in the parish capital. Dwayne Anderson, TVJ News.
It's time for a break. Stay with us, more local stories when we return. Welcome back to the Midday News. The Independent Commission of Investigation INDECOM has confirmed that an inmate from the Buff Bay Police Station died after he was beaten while in custody. It's understood that the deceased, Patrick Perry, was assaulted and severely injured. He was taken to the Onoto Bay Hospital and later transferred to the Kingston Public Hospital, where he succumbed to his injuries. His death follows the death of 2 other inmates at the Halfway Tree Police Station in St. Andrew within a 4-day period. Head of INDECOM, Hugh Faulkner, says an investigation has been launched.
In matters regarding the death of persons in custody of the state, the INDECOM team interviews law enforcement personnel in addition to persons in custody, canvass for CCTV or any digital footage, collect any forensic material available, attend the postmortem examination, and utilize material from the postmortem report to help inform its findings.
In the meantime, Mr. Faulkner says since the start of the year, the agency has yielded several rulings from the Director of Public Prosecutions against members of the security forces.
On conclusion of any investigative process, the requisite cases are submitted to the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions for a ruling. For the period January 1 this year to September 19 this year, 2024, the Director of Public Prosecutions has handed down rulings for charge in 22 cases investigated by INDECOM. These cases involve JCF officers, Department of Corrections officers, and JDF personnel.
It's now time for the Business Minute.
Main Event Entertainment Group recorded net profit of $28.75 million during its third quarter ended July. In its unaudited financial statements, the company says this was up from the $23.3 million made after tax for the same period in 2023. Main Event's revenue totaled $440 million for the 3 months, up from the $428 million last year. The company says despite the improvement in the year-over-year third quarter performance, the company saw a 10% drop in revenues over the 9 months to July. This amounted to $1.43 billion compared to $1.59 billion for the same 9-month period last year. Further afield, DirecTV has agreed to buy rival Dish Network. Under the deal, DirecTV will pay Dish's owner EcoStar just $1 in exchange for assuming its billions of dollars in debt. If the companies combine, the new service will have about 20 million subscribers. At its peak in 2015, DirecTV had 20 million subscribers alone. Both companies have struggled to keep customers as streaming platforms like Netflix, Hulu, and Prime Video have been gaining traction. And that's it for the Business Minute. I'm Kelisha Williams.
Time now for the top regional and international stories.
In the region, police in the Turks and Caicos Islands say since it launched Operation Might, there has been a decline in overall crime, though many cases remain unsolved. Commissioner Edwin Martin recently revealed that a firearm which has been seized is linked to at least 32 murders. He noted that multiple individuals are involved in the crimes, often connected to illegal migration, drug trafficking, and gang activity. The commissioner emphasized the need for a community-wide effort to address the root causes of violence and restore peace. On the international scene, in the aftermath of Hurricane Helene, at least 95 people have died across 6 states in the United States, including 36 in North Carolina, with many more missing. Communities are facing severe shortages of supplies and power, and hundreds of roads remain closed, hindering recovery efforts for over 2 million customers still without electricity. President Joe Biden plans to visit affected areas and has approved disaster relief, while locals are banding together to support each other amid the devastation. And those were the top regional and international stories. I'm Nikinsky Robinson.
We head to a quick break. When we come back, we'll have your midday sports report.